Okay, everybody, welcome to the latest episode of All Too Real 2. My name is Michael E. Cullen II, and with me, as always, is
Matthew Dr. Pepper / cream soda Haas. Have you tried that yet? Have you tried it?
No, I'm not a fan of Dr. Pepper or cream soda, really.
I've seen you drink Dr. Pepper lots of times.
No.
No?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
I thought we used to drink Dr. Pepper all the time. Like when we...
You did. Like I didn't.
Well, I know I did, but I thought you did too.
No,
Okay,
whatever. I'm pretty much a cola and Mountain Dew sort of guy.
Okay. Yeah, it must have just been me then. Well, anyway, they got a combination now, Dr. Pepper with cream soda in it. It's pretty amazing stuff. Depends on how they make it though, because the last batch I had, it seemed to be more heavy on the Dr. Pepper, but this one seems to be more heavy on the cream soda. So I'm not sure how that works out. So, but yeah, because
you think that would all be regulated to be equal?
Maybe it's just the way it tastes to me. I don't know. So I guess what you could do is you could just get a regular bottle of Dr. Pepper and pour it in there to get your ratio that you'd like the most or something like that.
Or you could just buy a bottle of cream soda and a bottle of Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, and I guess you could just do it that way too. Yeah, good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, there you go.
Well, before we start here, I just wanted to make a big announcement. The Noid is back.
Yeah, oh, yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
We were not able to avoid him.
No, not for very long.
No.
We avoided him for a good 30 years or so, but
the Noid is back.
He's back. What is the Noid, pray tell, exactly?
He is a originally claymation character who was trying to get good pizza or something, or destroy good pizza.
But why? What's the reason? Like the hamburger wants to steal hamburgers. Like, what is the Noid's purpose? You know what I mean?
I'm not really sure.
Is he just trying to ruin good pizza?
I'm trying to figure that out, because the thing is, I don't know if he's trying to avoid or ruin good pizza or steal good pizza.
But isn't he just like a flea-looking thing?
Kinda. I mean, he's almost like a guy in a bunny suit sort of thing.
What the Okay, so didn't they make a video game called The Noid?
Yeah, and
for the Nintendo?
Yeah, there is... Okay. We should do an episode about the Noid in the future.
Yeah, sounds good.
If you guys want us to do an episode about... Well, maybe we'll do one about, commercial advertising characters or something. But,
No, we need one specifically just for the Noid.
So basically... The Noid is an advertising character for Domino's Pizza, created in the 1980s, clad in a red, skin-tight, rabbit-eared bodysuit, with a black N inscribed in a white circle on his chest. The Noid was the physical manifestation of all of the challenges inherent in getting pizza delivered in 30 minutes or less. Yes.
Okay. So he's all right. This is getting even more interesting. So he's actually an incarnation of forces of nature that prevent a delivery driver from delivering his pizza in a timely manner.
So he's like the devil.
He's like all the chaotic forces of nature is in a person or personage, if you will, and you have to avoid him because he's bad luck. I mean, literally, he's bad luck. Anything that could go wrong for a delivery driver, that's the incarnation of that. So, bunny ears, does rabbits have something to do? I mean, I guess if a rabbit runs in front of a car and then a driver swerves over and crashes into a building, I guess technically that would make your pizza.
And there's like some, I think devilish incarnations of, connections to rabbits as well. So
the devil's preventing your pizza from getting there on time.
Yes. And
makes sense. Isn't the CEO of Domino's like super hardcore Christian? So like
the old one was, yeah, he sold
the
it.
old one.
Yeah. Monahan. Yeah. Anyways, there was a computer game in 1989 called Avoid the Noid. And then there was a video game, I believe, for like other systems and stuff, released in 1990 called Yo Noid. Yeah, for the
Yo Noid
for the NES. So, in 1989, January 30th, a man named Kenneth Lamar Noid, a mentally ill man who thought the ad campaign was a personal attack on him, entered a Domino's restaurant in Chamblee, Georgia, armed with a .357 Magnum, and held 2 employees hostage for 5 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, so they stopped using the campaign after that.
You're talking about me. Wow.
Yeah, he's since passed away. He died by suicide in 1995.
It does not sound well.
Yeah. After telling, he told employees that Domino's owner, Tom Monahan, had stolen his name. He forced them to call Domino's headquarters and demand $100,000, a white limousine as getaway transport. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 shots were fired by him during the incident. While Noid, so basically he was there so long he was hungry. He forced the employees to make him 2 special pizzas. And while Noid ate the pizzas with his gun in his lap, the hostages escaped. So yeah.
Wow.
So that happened.
I guess they couldn't avoid the Noid, or I guess they did eventually.
Yeah,
so.
they did avoid the Noid. So, anyways, the Noid is the Noid is back, people. So now we got to be careful and avoid him. I don't know. I don't know if we wear masks for that.
Yeah, I mean, could be, or who knows? Because the CDC changes its guidelines every single day now. It seems like to appease one group or another, depending on which group is being loudest. So now,
if I avoid the Noid, will I not get coronavirus?
Probably. But I would also just not eat Domino's pizza because it tastes like shit. But
unless they want to sponsor us, and then it's the best pizza in the world.
Yeah, then it's the best pizza I'll never eat, but I'll tell other people. I'll tell other people to eat. Yes. I don't know. Last few times I've gotten it, it's just not been great. I was so jazzed. Yes, I'm bringing that word back. I was so jazzed. Well, I never stopped saying it. I was so jazzed that Domino's came back to Toledo after being gone for like 20 years or something like that. Because I used to get it when I was a kid, like teenager, like, oh, it's Domino's night, woo, because they had really good chicken wings too. And then they just suddenly just disappeared from Toledo, just gone. And then in another restaurant went in this place called Cottage Inn Pizza, which is also really good. It's like a Michigan and Ohio-based chain. Then Domino's came back, like, I don't know, is it 5 years ago, something like that, and started getting it last year. And I'm just like, okay, like what's going on here? It's not that great. So I don't know.
Supposedly they updated their recipe and made it better.
Well, that's the thing. I like the old recipe, which is apparently what everyone else complained about and hated. But I actually like the way it tasted. And now the new and improved thing I don't like. So maybe I'm just completely unique in that sense that I like what everyone else hates, which I guess that's pretty much me in a nutshell.
I honestly, I haven't eaten them since I was a child, so I don't know what they taste like. So I'll have to try them sometime.
Yeah, try it out, see what you think, because yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like Marco's Pizza a lot. You know, that's a local-ish chain in Toledo.
Well,
I mean,
it's actually one of the largest growing independent companies in the country.
Yeah, now they got some Florida and stuff.
Oh, they're all over the country now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's probably I think it's like the third or fourth, probably like maybe it's in the top 5 of pizza chains in the country now.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But anyways, back to our show here. Another announcement. We have joined the Geek Collective, which is a podcast network, just letting you know. So if you hear some ads from them during our show at all, that is why. So just letting you know. May hear some ads for cool stuff like Manscaped, which I've heard in our last episode. So
GC.
Yeah. So anyways, today's episode, we are covering another unaired television pilot that we found online. This one is called Not Another High School TV Show, which was made shortly after the Not Another Teen movie. You know, it was made by some of the same people. It was written by Mike Bender, directed by Joel Gallen, and this aired in 2007. And when I talk shortly after, it wasn't like right after, but you know, it was a little bit after. It was made as a possible pilot for Comedy Central, but Comedy Central passed on it, and I watched it twice. I don't know about you, Matt. How many times did you watch it?
I watched it twice as well.
Yes. Yeah, Mike Bender, who wrote this, also wrote Not Another Teen Movie. He's also written various other television awards shows and things like that. So, you know. So yeah, that's Mike Bender. Joel Gallen, who directed this episode, he's known for directing Not Another Teen Movie, as well as the 2021 Independent Film Spirit Awards, the iHeartRadio Jingle Ball, the Comedy Central Roast of Alec Baldwin, a lot of Comedy Central like comedy specials like Pete Davidson and other people. And a lot of parody shorts that were part of like TV shows, as well as the Jenny McCarthy show. He directed some episodes of that. So yeah, that's who we got. He also directed the unplugged Pearl Jam concert for MTV. So yeah,
that's kind of an interesting resume.
Yeah,
diverse.
So initial thoughts on this pilot here, Matt?
You know, just hilarious. I mean, it's just stupid. I mean, there's really nothing of like cultural value to this episode at all. But just like, I could totally imagine like just coming home on like a Friday night, like late at night, from like, you know, hanging out with people or whatever, and just like having this be at like on at like 1:30 in the morning, and just watch like eating some Taco Bell or whatever, just you know, brain melting stuff, like nothing that's really you really need to think about or anything, but just real slapstick stuff, you know. I loved it, to be honest, even though it's just so stupid. But
yeah, I'm kind of so on it. I liked it, but like the first time I watched it, I really liked it. And then the second time, I was just kind of bored because I'd already seen it, I think. You know, so it was just like, I just watched it right before we recorded. And, yeah, yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it's an obvious spoof of teen TV shows from the 90s and 2000s, like The O.C. and Dawson's Creek and Buffy the Vampire Slayer and things of that nature.
Teen Wolf.
And 90210 and things like that, you know. Teen Wolf, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, had some appearances from Alison Brie and Jennifer Lawrence, as well as Andy Dick. And Jamie Presley, some other, like, you know, decent stars. They also had Eric Christian Olsen, who is on I think currently on NCIS Los Angeles, and he appeared in Dumb and Dumberer as Jim Carrey's character. He also was Vaughn, the tiny nipple guy on Community. Yes, so got people like that in this. Main stars of the show are John Keefe and Jocelin Donahue. So basically, the premise of this thing is it's a spoof like Not Another Teen Movie was, but this time instead of teen movies, it's a high school television shows. Yeah, as is in the title.
I mean, yeah, these movies and shows, they just, you know, they really tell you what it's about, you know.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad that whole thing went away, where you had all these like scary movies and epic movies and date movie and all of those pieces of shit movies. You know what I mean? Yeah, because it was like a new spoof every year or every couple of months or something. It was just so, and the thing is, they all wanted to be like a good spoof in the way that like Mel Brooks did a spoof, or the like Zucker and Abrams did, like with the Airplane movies and stuff like that. But they never quite like reached that height, you know?
Yeah.
Of hilarity, you know. I don't know. They were never a Spaceballs or a Robin Hood Men in Tights in there, which are good spoofs, in my opinion. But then again,
I love Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Yeah.
That had Dave Chappelle in it too, right?
Yeah.
Was he? Yeah.
So, what happens in this episode here, Matt?
It starts off with the dude who played Vaughn. He's trying to steal a car. He's trying to like teach his younger brother, you know, how to properly do it, you know. And the guy's like, I don't think I want to steal a car, man, or whatever. He's like, come on, we're bad boys. That's what we do. And he's like hitting the car door with the crowbar. He's like, wouldn't it make more sense to hit the windshield? He's like, would it make sense if I cared or something like that? You know, just try to be like this nonchalant guy. And he ends up breaking the window, getting in the car, and then the car explodes, and he turns the ignition, and then the kid gets like thrown back, and then obviously his brother dies, or does he? Ooh, and then like the lawyer comes to see him or whatever, and it's like he's like becomes like the OC guy or whatever. He's like, you know what? Like at first he says his brother's alive, that he got shot a bunch of times, but it's okay. He's like, wait, my brother wasn't shot, and he's like going through all of his files, and he's like, oh, actually no, it's the wrong person or whatever. And then turns out that his mom also died that night because she slipped on someone else's vomit or something like that. I don't remember.
Stupid.
Stupid. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna take you home with me, and you live with me, and don't worry. I've taken lots of boys home with me, or something like dumb like that. Going for the whole stupid humor thing or whatever. Then that's when they start playing the OC kind of theme, like a similar, theme music to it. Yeah. And they get home to their fancy house or whatever, and more really politically incorrect humor from like that era, because he's like, welcome, I'm home, honey, and she picks up like a butcher's knife or a cutting knife or whatever. It's like get that boy away from me or whatever. And he's like, why? He's like, the last boy you brought home tried to rape me. And he's like, oh, you can never prove that. And it's like, you defended him in court or something like that. And then he's like, and it goes into like this inspirational music, and he's like, hey, I'm just trying to be a good lawyer and a good parent, and I want to help someone out. And if that just means people have a little bit of chance of getting raped here, well, that's the price I'm willing to pay. It's like, whoa. Yeah. It's like 2007 edgy edgelord type of
humor. Yeah.
Now that I think about it, I don't know if I like the show as much now. I was thinking more towards the end of the episode, because so much happened in the show that it felt much longer than 22 minutes long, because...
Yeah, they did pack a lot in that 22 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe too much.
Yeah.
I think that was the problem with a lot of these spoof movies around that time. They tried to get like a spoof a minute. And just because it was... That's the thing with the humor. Just because you're spoofing something doesn't make it funny.
Right.
I mean, just because you have somebody dressed up and running around like, Buffy the Vampire Slayer trying to catch a werewolf doesn't necessarily mean that is funny. It was kind of funny, but it got old.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alison Brie played a character named Muffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah.
Because, Muffy. And, so you can have vagina jokes. And,
Yeah, that was kind of stupid, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, not all of it was good. And then, he meets, like, his foster brother, and then they're doing the whole Dawson's Creek thing with that, where, I'm sorry, I love Dawson's Creek, but, like, I can guarantee you that 99.999999999% of teenagers in any part of the world do not talk like they're PhD philosophy students. Like, no one talks that way at all. Anyone, ever. Like, especially not an entire high school of kids. Just doesn't happen. But anyway, good show, just unrealistic in how people talk. Anyway.
So are you criticizing the elemental vocabulary of these prepubescent humans?
Yes, I am, because I don't, for the most part, especially this day when most people can't even spell correctly. When like they spell domestic as like DEMOSTIX or something like that, it's like demostic. What?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, it turns out that the guy's gay. So it's like, I get it. Like he's not attracted to her. It's funny. Get it? He's gay. Get it? Get it? Get it? Get it? Gay.
No, I don't.
It's like, okay, yes, the guy's gay. Got it. That is the joke. Because it's 2007.
Do not get it. Do not get it. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, he basically is like, yeah, it's kind of like the Dawson Joey. You know, he's not attracted to the girl, and yeah, but he's attracted to the new bad boy that's coming into the house. Played by John Keefe, who's named Brian Atkins, and yeah, the Dawson character is named Lawson.
Lawson is great. He was pretty. I liked him a lot. He was funny. Good actor.
Yeah, it's Jeffrey Christopher Todd.
Yeah. I liked him a lot. He was kind of one of the saving graces of the episode, actually. So he's also obsessed with Hugh Jackman. Like, he's got a portrait that he painted of him.
Yeah, like kind of like how Dawson is obsessed with Steven Spielberg.
Yeah,
he's a little obsessed with Hugh Jackman, but in a different way. Kind of like he's attracted to him, probably.
He called himself a Jack Maniac. I think that's what he called himself.
Yep. I believe there's a 12-step program to get yourself out of that, I'm pretty sure.
It's Jack Maniac.
Yeah.
I like that, though. It was cool. And then, like, she like, goes down, like, the stair, you know, the ladder, like, in Dawson's, and he accidentally knocks her off the ladder because he opens up, like, his treasure chest of whatever.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman stuff, I guess, probably. And then, yeah, anyway. Don't want to get too stuck on that one scene, but...
Yeah, we gotta speed through this episode because a lot happened, you know? Because you can get so, like, lost in the minutia of it, you know? It's kind of... So we have, at one point, Brian goes outside, and we get the next door neighbor, Melissa, runs outside and as well, because her dad is married to a girl that's like a year older than her. Melissa, who's only credited as Melissa's stepmother in the credits. Yeah. Yeah. But they both are going outside. He's smoking a cigarette and stuff, and then they just keep saying, "Hey, hey," to each other. Yeah, like a whole little meet cute sort of thing. Yeah, good times. Yeah. So yeah, and then her boyfriend pulls up in this like really loud yellow Hummer. And by loud, I mean the color, not the... yeah, not the actual...
Yeah, it was pretty.
Yeah, it was very bright, and, you know, it was over the top, and had something hanging off the back of it, too, like something, he was towing something on behind it.
It was like another car that he was towing, for some reason.
Yeah, it's kind of stupid, but funny, I guess. Yeah. I mean, those things work when they're subtle.
Yeah.
Some of these things are over the top, in my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so she goes into the car with her typical douchebag boyfriend. Then what happens here, Matt?
He basically waves at her stepmom, says that she looks hot.
Oh.
And then they drive off, and I think the next thing is school. I think that's the next thing that starts up.
Yeah, do you want to take a break really quick here, Matt?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we'll be right back, folks. And you know, be sure to avoid the noise.
What is Gen X? What is the silent generation? What do generations have in common? Hi, I'm Trish the Dish from the Gen X Voice podcast, and I invite you to listen to conversations I have with folks from different generations, backgrounds, beliefs, and experiences in an attempt to see what connects rather than divides us. Even though Gen X has been called slackers, Karens, or not mentioned at all in some cases, we are the bridge generation, so I feel compelled to do my part to destroy ageism by bringing all these voices together. And, as a bonus, each guest gets to answer some 80s questions at the end of each show. So download and listen to Gen X Voice today on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And let's see how much we have in common after all.
Hi, this is Catherine, host of a new fashion podcast, The Real Fashion School Dropout. Join me as I interview guests every week in the fashion and beauty space, and we gossip on all things fashion and beauty and even get into some personal stories of their journey in the industry. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, pretty much wherever you get your podcast. Hope to see you there.
Don't call it a comeback.
I've been here for years. That's all. That's all I know. Mama said, "Knock you out." Yeah.
Mama said.
Yeah.
I got beat up by singing the lyrics to that song once when I was a kid.
Really?
By my neighbor across the street who was friends with my brother.
Mm-hmm.
He was like 3 years older than me, I think. And I thought it was cool. I was taking out the trash one day, or I was doing something with the faucet, I don't know, watering the garden or something when I was a kid. And I was like, I knew he liked rap music because they used to be into Metallica, but then he got into rap music because he thought he was like super cool. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna impress my brother's friend by singing some rap song I knew a few lyrics to. So I'm like, oh, I know this one. Mama said knock you out. LL Cool J. And he's like, what you fucking say? Like, getting all mad at me, and I'm like, Mama said knock you out. Like, I was confused. He's like, say that one more time, we're gonna kick your ass. So I'm like, Mama said knock you out. He just, like, slammed me across the face. And I went and told my brother, and he's like, he went out there, he's like, what the hell would you do that for? Good times.
The number
9 years old.
the number of kids who have gotten hit in the face for singing a song.
Yep. Not sure if it's many, but
yeah,
I'm a unique person, so.
I remember that time I was singing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and a random kid just came up and slapped me in the face.
Yep. Well, I think technically, I think he tried to push me, but since I maneuvered a certain way, it ended up hitting me across. So technically, I don't know if he tried. Here I am. I'm defending my abuser right now. But anyway.
Well, maybe he thought you were going to knock him out.
Exactly.
He thought you had a conversation with your mother, and she told you, go knock that kid out. Yeah. and you were just informing him, Mama said knock you out, and I listened to my mother, so I got to knock you out. That's basically what he was trying to say. Right?
Preemptively, defending himself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean that makes sense.
Yeah, it was all just self-defense on his end, so there was nothing wrong there, Matt. I'm joking.
No, totally right. I mean, he later became a heroin addict, but so. But he's clean. I probably shouldn't have said. You might want to edit that part out.
We'll be okay. We don't know who it is.
But he did. He got clean, so that's good.
Oh, that's good. So, he didn't get knocked out by the heroin. And
he did actually, but
So back to Not Another High School TV show.
Mm-hmm.
The greatest pilot I've ever seen in my life. Maybe. So, what else happens here? They're in high school. We find out that in the high school they don't have classes; they just wander the halls.
That's what they said. The guy said stepbrother or whatever.
Lawson said that.
They just wander the halls. It turns out that girl's stepmom is actually in high school with her. And she's being mean to her. Like, I want you, at home as soon as school's over, type of thing. Because, it's her stepmom and she has to do what she tells her, type of thing. And she's like, okay, whatever, humiliates her or whatever. They got like this typical like group of friends, like the stereotypical one who's like super super into sex and like self pleasure, like the stereotypical liberated woman, is like carries like sex toys with her in her purse because all women do that apparently. And then you got like the stereotypical like super liberal tolerant person who like everything's like a social issue, type of thing. Like
totally based on the on Gabrielle Carteres' character from 90210, dressed like her and everything, and is also played by an actress who is a lot older than everybody else.
Yeah, I could tell.
which is totally what was up with Gabrielle Carteres on 90210. She was about like 10 years or more older than everybody else in the cast.
Wow.
Yeah. That's why, like, if you folks ever get a chance, check out the movie Pi Day Die Day, which I directed and was written by my friend Lindsay LaForest. Two of the characters in the movie are named Gabrielle in honor of Gabrielle Carteres. And the reason is because we cast people much older than high school students in these roles. So, yeah. Anyways, that was interesting. Yeah, you got your very typical group of friends, and and so they go to like their little hangout that's kind of modeled after the Peach Pit on 90210, and you have your little guy behind the counter at the diner, who played by Ethan Phillips, who people will know from Star Trek and Benson fame. He plays this character named Pat, who's like basically the guy that gives them advice, but he's totally wrong in his advice that he's giving them now. And he's like, and he tells the main girl, who's like skinnier than a rail, that she's putting on weight on her caboose.
Yeah.
Like, everybody keeps telling her how fat she's getting.
I know, it's like, and she's like super skinny. Like, it's, one of those things. Which was
the running joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. So while at the sexualized girl goes and decides to use a sex toy in the bathroom or something. And,
right.
And then our main girl, Melissa, goes over to Brian to invite him to Sean Sanders' party. Sean Sanders is her boyfriend. It's like the big social party of the year or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
And, and then Lawson invites himself. After she doesn't recognize who he is, even though they've lived next door to each other for 16 years, and their parents keep having affairs with each other. But yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. She's like, "Oh, okay." It's like, "Wow, you really don't pay attention to much, do you?"
So, what happens then?
Well, they go to the party, or no, I think before that, what's the main dude's name? I forgot his name. Ryan.
Yeah.
He's in like the gym and he's like spikes a volleyball, and then like the main bully guy's like with like his boys or whatever. He's like, no one touches my balls except for me or my boys, because they're doing he's secretly gay, get it, type of thing. That was pretty much it. Like, that was, like, I thought they're going to do a whole thing with, like, him being gay, and then that was, like, the only time that, like...
Well, maybe if the show would have been continued, they might have...
Yeah, it could have, and then, so they go to the party, I think, and I don't remember what happened, to be honest, because there's so much shit that happened. I know that all of a sudden...
They go to the party, Muffy's there trying to find the werewolf, and she ends up shooting more people with her bow and arrow.
Oh, that's right, and she also almost killed a janitor earlier. I forgot about that.
Because she thought he was a werewolf. So she's
and
like
he
really
was like,
bad at her job.
Yeah, and he was like a creep janitor, that was like leering at the female students, type of thing.
Your typical, thing. Anyways, then, there's a, Melissa's stepmother is caught making out with Sean Sanders. Her, Melissa's boyfriend. So, then, Brian decides to try to take on, Sean and basically, in honor of Melissa, puts his hood up like he's all badass dude, and then Sean just punches him in the face and he falls to the ground.
Right. Yeah. But it's because Andy Dick inspired character is supposed to be like Matthew McConaughey from
Dazed and Confused. Yeah,
he just shows up and he's like, my name is like, after he says anything, he's like, I'm kind of popular around these school parts. He's like, wait, you're still in high school? He's like, yeah, 23 years.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, he plays Kenny Bonerman, or Bonerman.
That's right, yeah, Bonerman, yeah.
And then he's doing the whole McConaughey from Dazed and Confused sort of thing. And, and he's like, stay around for the poo tang. He's got a southern accent for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like stumbling around, like shaking his beer cup, and like the beer just like flying out of the cup, like every time he does it.
But yeah, and so then they have that little fight.
Mm-hmm.
And Brian is knocked out. Then what happens?
We'll see. The dude Lawson's like crying because he has like a crush on Ryan. He's I guess dressed as like Edward Scissorhands, I guess, or something.
Oh,
and
no, he's dressed as Wolverine.
That's right, Wolverine. Because of
his Hugh Jackman, yeah.
So he's gonna try to help Ryan, and then Alison Brie's character thinks he's a werewolf, and then Lawson's friend, I forgot her name already. She's running towards him, and then he gets shot by the crossbow.
It's Charlie, is her name.
That's right, Charlie. And then Lawson's she's basically confessing her love to him on the stretcher, and he's like, "Oh, I'll be by your side," or whatever. And then he just leaves her because he sees Ryan or whatever.
Yeah, he sees Brian walking by, and he's just like, "Oh, yeah." And then
typical stuff
yeah,
in these kind of movies or shows.
Yeah, and then Melissa and Brian are about to kiss at one point because she's thanking him for standing up or whatever, and says that things are done with Sean. But then Sean pulls up right as they're about to kiss, and she gets into the car with him. And at one point, Brian's brother's back, and he's like, "Now I can wear cardigans, and I'm a good boy now." He faked his death, and then he gets, that was before that because Melissa shoots him
for some reason.
Yeah, no reason whatsoever. It's like, she said she did it as because of him standing up to Sean.
But he did okay.
Makes no sense.
It makes no sense whatsoever. I'm gonna shoot your brother because you helped me. Like what?
That's how it happens.
Yeah, I mean, it just
That's what happened to 3 of my brothers.
Wait, you don't have any brothers?
Not anymore.
Set him up, you knock him down.
So, that's what happens. Yeah, then at the end, his mom comes back.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
And then they have like a few scenes for like what's gonna happen in the next episode that never happened.
Right, that doesn't happen.
Yeah. So that was basically not another high school TV show.
Yeah, that was. I mean, take it or leave it.
I'm really interested in knowing what any of our fans think of this episode if they watched it, because I'm just curious. Let us know, and we might talk about it in a future episode or something. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Very unique. Yeah. Very unique pilot.
I kind of changed my mind now that I'm talking about it. I don't know if I like it that much.
I mean, it's okay for the time. I mean, but I can see why Comedy Central passed on it. And I'm also glad because then, Alison Brie might not have ended up on Community if that was the case, if this got picked up.
Right, yeah.
And, J-Law might not have had her career, Jennifer Lawrence.
J-Law.
Yeah.
That's what you call her, J-Law?
J-Law, yep.
I like that. J-Law?
We're close, her and I. We're like two peas in a pod.
Oh, really?
Except for the fact that she doesn't know it.
Whoa, okay.
Wait, that sounded creepy.
Yeah, it's kind of scary.
Oh. Well, my brother once told me.
But you don't... Oh, yeah, that's right. You don't have... Not anymore. Sorry. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, my brother... my brother Steve, he once told me... He said... And then I was like, yeah.
That's right.
It was a deep conversation. It's kind of hard to relay on the radio because it was all in, like, head nods and stuff.
Some of the best conversations are without words, so,
Yeah.
You just look into eyes and you're like, I know, bro. I know.
Yep.
But you don't even gotta say bro. You just know, bro.
Yep.
Bro.
And then somebody shot him.
Oh, no.
It was this girl I liked.
You just can't catch a break, I mean.
Yeah. And then there was Dave, my other brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was a good guy. One time he was explaining life to me. And then Shelly, that girl I liked.
Yeah.
She came out of nowhere and stabbed him.
Sounds like maybe not a good girl to like.
Well, she does get conjugal visits in the prison.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
Whatever.
You know how it goes.
I don't know how it goes because I never had a girl I like stab anyone, so.
Neither have I. Wait.
Well.
Okay, so,
I don't know where this is going, Mike. I don't know.
I don't either. So do you want to take another break here, Matt?
Yeah, sure.
We'll be right back, and we'll read some reviews about this episode and stuff from the Internet Movie Database. We'll be right back.
It's the Ninja from the Ask the Angry Ninja Show saying, come listen to the show. We got the Ninja Wife to give you your movie reviews. We got the Conscript to give you the Ninja News. And we got the Battle to talk about your sports. And as always, it is the Ask the Angry Ninja Show. So ask me a question, we'll give you the ninja knowledge you need for your ninja life. Search for us anywhere you get your podcast from. Just search for the Ask the Angry Ninja Show and enjoy the show.
And we are back. 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 So, all right, we've got 2 reviews on the Internet Movie Database for this. We have a 6 out of 10 and a 1 out of 10. Which do you want me to read first, Matt?
Do the good one first.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, the 6 out of 10, written by Horston Translation. Whatever. On January 13th, 2017. Pretty decent spoof that is okay for what it is. Not Another High School Show is a 22-minute live-action short from 2007. So this one has its 10th anniversary this year. It was written by Mike Bender, the man who is mostly known for Not Another Teen Movie. And you will see the resemblance between this short film here and that one there.
That one there.
Yeah, it is a spoof. Yes. And several shows about... it's a spoof. And several shows about teenage life, especially at school, are taken here and made fun of in a fairly harmless way. This also includes Buffy, for example. Apart from the more general stuff like Dawson's Creek. I personally enjoyed the watch, and while not every joke was a winner, there were enough that were relatively funny. It was a fun watch. Of course, it is very difficult to say if it had worked as if it had worked as a show, because at some point you just need to get in individual creativity and not just references about stuff made by others. But there is no need for seeing these 22 minutes from that perspective, as they were not picked up for a whole season. So eventually, it is what it is, and I liked what I saw. It is smart and even creative, which is certainly quite an achievement. Thumbs up, a 6 out of 10.
That's actually a very nice and nicely written review.
So there's another one here from 2015 on July 30th from Michael Radney, not Randy, but Radney, called Not Again. This rubbish, because that was capitalized in exclamation points. So, this is hard, horrible, and disgustingly dumb. One of the worst TV shows I think I've ever seen. It has no point, no direction, falling flat on its face every time the writer thinks he or she has made something funny. To put it bluntly, it's pure feces. Nothing in this is even giggle-worthy, let alone laugh out loud, whilst wetting yourself, rolling on the ground, blah, blah, blah. Avoid like the plague.
Was annoyed.
Yeah, or the noise. Yes. If you touch it, it might infect you, making you dumb and sending your IQ plummeting below 1. Lucky for me, I found a cure. Any other TV show. Even watching paint dry is funnier than this. This I'll let you put any word here there. Yeah. That's it.
So he doesn't like it.
I'm getting the feeling that he loved it.
Oh, okay.
And that he thought it was the greatest thing ever.
Okay.
And that he used to watch it with his brother until his brother was shot by a girl he liked.
Maybe that's why he doesn't like it.
No, okay.
because he does like it, but he doesn't like it because of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
We all know how that goes.
That makes sense.
When you love a TV show, but then you can't love it anymore because you used to watch it with your brother who was shot by a girl you liked.
Yeah. And then that same thing happens in the show. So then you're reminded, of it.
You should have saw the show as a premonition, though, And you should have just not liked girls.
Yeah, I guess.
So I think the takeaway from the television show is telling you not to like women. Because
if you're a guy.
Because they'll shoot your brother.
If you're a guy, though. So it means that you have to be gay.
Yes.
Oh, see? it's like the conservatives say, you know, that they're trying to force people to become gay.
Yep.
Well, that might be it in this episode. That might actually be the message.
It's a propaganda thing.
You have to be gay in order to prevent your brother from getting shot by a girl you like.
I think I'm going to send this along to Tucker Carlson. He's got a whole segment.
I'm sure he will. And he'll have a whole
write itself right there, you know.
Oh, well, he'll just, sputter and spit his words with, chili sauce on his shirt because he didn't bother to shower and change his clothes this week because he's, I swear to God, that guy is like one segment away, literally just like saying the Jews control everything. Like he's just like he's getting so close to saying it. Like, and I'm almost waiting for it. I'm like, wait for it. Wait until he just blames it all on the Jews. Like, just wait. Like, just where he just like, no more euphemisms. Like,
Well, hopefully he doesn't, and hopefully he gets fired. Anyways.
Yeah, hopefully something worse happens. Well, I can't say.
No, I'm not gonna say what I was going to say, which was that maybe he has a brother who likes a girl, and I did not say that. See, no. I'm just going to emphasize the fact that I did not say that.
Yeah.
That I was going to say that, but I didn't say it.
Yes, you have more self-control than a guy who has millions of people who hang on his every word.
So lawyers, don't come after me.
Yeah.
Don't send the girls that you like after me with a gun. And so anyways, Matt, would you recommend anybody watch this?
No, I changed my mind.
And do you think it would have lasted as a television series if they would have continued?
No, yeah. I don't. I think this was dropped for a good reason. I mean, unlike How I Met Your Father, which I think actually would have been
How I Met Your Dad.
Show.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, How I Met Your Dad. I think would have actually been a decent show had they, continued to let it run, basically. But not this.
Well, that's basically how I feel too. Anyways, anything else before we head off into the sunset here, Matt?
I was gonna say something clever earlier and I forgot about it. Just don't watch this. I guess that's my only. Just don't watch it. You can listen to us talk about it, but I would not recommend you actually watching it. So
yeah, I mean, it might be worth watching it just as a goof, but
do what you will. Yeah, do what you will.
Don't watch it. Don't watch it twice like I did because you might enjoy it the first time and then not like it the second time like me. And
right.
Yeah, it's not very rewatchable.
No.
Just wanted to remind people to go to Apple Podcasts, give us a 5-star review. Let us know what you think of the show. Check out all2real2.com for all of our information and everything. Check out the other shows on the Geek Collective. Make sure you check out our Patreon. You can get some cool stuff, get some cool benefits there. Also, check out our TeePublic. Get some T-shirts, and other merchandise too with our logo on it. And
shirt tee, yeah.
And I'll tell you what, those shirts, if a girl that your brother likes tries to shoot you and you're wearing one of those shirts, it will not prevent a bullet from penetrating you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're not gonna do some false advertising here, are you?
No, I'm just gonna let you know that ahead of time. It might make her not shoot you though, because she's gonna be like, "Hey, you listen to that cool podcast? I listen to that cool podcast."
Yeah, and then that actually might be like a cute meet, right there in itself.
And then you steal the girl away from your brother.
And then he shoots you.
See, it all works out in the end, and everybody's happy.
Well, except for you, because you're probably dead. But
everybody else is happy.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense.
So buy a T-shirt, and
yeah,
and share the show and everything. Yep. And get vaccinated, people.
Yes. I got my second one a week ago, so yeah, it's been a week. No, sorry, 8 days ago actually, but
well, there's 8 days a week according to the Beatles. So yep, and most importantly, people, avoid the Noid. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to All Too Real 2 podcast, a Cullen Park production. Produced and edited by Michael E. Cullen II. Music by Matthew Hawes. Subscribe and share the show. Visit us at cullenpark.com.